we are sitting down with Luke Lieberman. Hello.
How you doing?
You are a producer on the Red Sonja, the new Red Sonja.
Mm-hmm.
You also, I believe, own the rights to Red Sonja.
Yes, character's been in the family since before I was born.
I'm gonna ask, what's the obsession with Red Sonja?
What's your? She's sort of like my sister at this point. She's like a person I know. I don't know if it's an obsession. I think it's just more a member of the family.
I love that. So you grew up with Red Sonja in your life.
Yeah, my father owned Controlled Conan and sort of all those characters. He sort of put the deals together with Marvel back in the day and the old movies and stuff like that. So it was an opportunity, and the character was dormant. I was like coming out of college in 2002, and Marvel had stopped publishing in the late 80s. So the character had been pretty dormant for a while, and it was an opportunity to make something and sort of introduce the character to a new generation, which was my generation. And we, partnered up with Dynamite in the comic space in particular, and that really took off. And we just never looked back.
Yeah. So we have this new Red Sonja movie. What makes this one the best of the Red Sonja projects?
Oh, that's
I'm assuming this is
such
the
a
best one.
question. Yeah. This one, I think it has the right kind of heart and soul behind it. Everyone who's involved in making it, there was a passion to it. And I think that's also why it sort of punches above its weight class in terms of what we were able to achieve on the budget that we had.
Yeah.
And it's going to stand out and be different from really sort of anything else that you're going to see out there right now. Just because of kind of the organic way it was made. There is CG, but not a lot. There's a lot of practical stuff we did. We went to, the first day of shooting was in a old forest. All the trees were centuries old and no one had ever touched it. And you kind of walked in and there was a mist about it and you just felt like you were stepping into another world. There's a little bit of sort of magic about it. And the story, it captures the character and what is sort of her sort of fire spirit, gutsy sort of nature of that character, and kind of gets it under her fingernails. And that, I think, is really going to help set it apart.
Yeah. You also have an incredible cast. Tell me about finding these people.
The first one we found was Matilda. We really cast that role. Like, we looked at a lot of actors, and she immediately stood out to me. I loved her in Revenge, but also I was looking for more than anything else. You're just kind of looking in the eyes and trying to find someone who's got that kind of fiery spirit, and that you're trying, you want an actor who has range and all of that, but you really just kind of want to find your Sonja, right? And we thought she was when we cast her, but then she sort of proved it through the course of the shoot, because this is a hard shoot. She was a hard woman. Like, she pulled it off. She brought it every day. She's got a lot of dedication, both to both on the emotional side and then just in the physical side and the kind of stuff that she was doing. And that was it. She was committed.
Yeah. Do you have a favorite moment or scene or shot from the film?
Yes. One of my favorite scenes, I can't tell you because it'll spoil everything. There's also a particular moment that Robert Sheehan has when he's confronting someone from his past, and that was an acting moment. I mean, you could sort of see him build. There was something in the script, but he went so far beyond, and just kind of owned that moment. And just the sort of level there. In terms of the action, there's definitely kind of the final action set piece with the rain and fire and, stuff blowing up and everybody swinging swords. I mean, and it cut together really beautifully. Actually, just to shout, my sister's husband edited that scene, and I think he did a fantastic job. Jeff Steinkamp did it.
Wow. It really is like a family affair.
Yeah, kind of.
I love it. We're here at Comic-Con. This is the event for the
This
film.
is my 23rd con.
Wow.
When my first con, I came, so we were family friends with Stan Lee. He gave me my first job in the business when I moved over from New York, was working at his company in Santa Monica. And so I used to come here with him. It was like going to a Rolling Stones concert with Keith Richards. And I came with him for maybe the first 8, 10 years or something like that. And this place is kind of home. It's kind of summer camp. I know I'm going to see somebody I haven't seen in a minute every few steps. That's
Yeah.
part of what I love about it.
I love that too. We love celebrating geekdom here. I got to ask you, what is your controversial geek opinion?
I know, and I'm supposed to have something pithy, and I do think Hudson Hawk is an unrecognized masterpiece. But what I really has been going on in my head as I've been walking around here is that the difference between Marvel and DC, because Marvel is about humans grappling with godlike powers, and DC is more about gods trying to figure out how to be human. I think that's sort of the fundamental difference in the two lines. I've always followed more towards the Marvel line because, Peter Parker trying to figure out how to live his life with these amazing powers to me is more interesting than Superman trying to pretend to be human or trying to kind of become less alienated. And they're both great concepts.
That's a really great way to look at that. I love that. Can you recommend us a fantasy or sci-fi movie that you think people haven't seen enough?
Well, people should check out Battlestar Galactica. That's a TV show, but I have a lot of love for that show, and I don't want it to kind of fade into the ether because it is just a brilliant show. I would actually encourage people to go see the old Conan the Barbarian, the first one with Arnold. John Milius made it. Oliver Stone wrote the script. I don't think people really know that, because that was so raw. And it was and James Earl Jones is plays one of the best villains in the history of cinema. Um, so uh, I one of my favorite scenes in that movie is he's got Conan kind of captured, and Conan's talking about how steel is power, and he looks up. They've got all these followers on the cliffside. He looks up. And he says, "Come to me, child," and this girl just drops to her death. And he says, "That is power." It's a great movie. I think people should see Conan.
Amazing. Um, you've mentioned a lot of different properties. What is your fandom?
Um, I'm very proud that my 10-year-old is halfway through reading Lord of the Rings. But look, at this point, I'm sort of giving my fandom to my children because that's one of the nice things about having kids is you get to kind of relive it. And it's stuff because, you read it, right? I've read everything at this point. At this point, I'm kind of listening to the Silmarillion to go to sleep again or something like that. But I don't need to, I'm not going to reread everything. But I've given her all of the old Stan Lee comics. The Chris Claremont run on X-Men is definitely one of my favorite things ever. The Frank Miller Daredevils, I haven't given to her yet because they're a little old, but I love Born Again is one of my favorite sort of runs in any comic. On my book on Red Sonja, if you look back at the first Savage Sword tale that Roy Thomas wrote, it was Esteban Murato and Neil Adams did the artwork. It's called The Red Sonja. I love that one. And I love the one where she crosses over with Spider-Man, and it's Mary Jane gets Red Sonja's sword, turns into her, and starts terrassing around New York, and Spider-Man's got to figure out what to do with his newly psychotic girlfriend. That was a fun one too.
Um, what is one of your Comic-Con highlight memories?
Well, last night we had a panel that was a lot of fun. Also, so I created a series of books with Stan Lee, and we premiered. It started as an Audible original called "The Trick of Light," and we came to Comic-Con in 2019. We finished it while he was with us, and then we were recording with Yara Shahidi, were recording the book when he passed. So it was bittersweet because we were coming here without him, but it was a fun con. I mean, they put in an ad, they, put our branding all over the buses, and the little bikes that ride you around used to play our book for you. And we had an activation across the street, and that was a fun year. The first time I came with Stan was a fun year because the first time I brought my wife with Stan, I'm gonna embarrass her a little bit, but she didn't really fully understand who Stan was until I took her to Comic-Con with Stan. And then she just looked at me at one point. He's a big deal. It's like, how's he that?
What is something you would camp out at Hall H for?
There isn't anything. There's no way. Sorry, I don't camp out for concerts. That's
Okay, awesome. Well, thank you so much for chatting with us.
Thank you. This is a pleasure.
Hey, thanks for watching us on the Beats YouTube channel, coming to you from the Seven Galaxies.
Smash that like button and don't forget to subscribe.